Y'all good? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and call the meeting of the August 2024 Delaware County Regional Wastewater Meeting to order. Eddie, if you would, please.
Ray,
Present.
Josh,
Present.
Joe, present, Phil,
Yes.
Ron.
Present. Okay, I guess Pete's taking a vacation day, so if you don't mind, I'll go over, no, minutes first, sorry, minutes that were put out. Everybody have a chance to see them? If so, I entertain a motion. So moved. I got a first and a second. Any changes or objections? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, treasurer's report. Claims from June 30th through July 31st, 2024 totaling $261,657.43. Account balances as of August 1st, 2024. Pete's favorite account, cash operating balance, $420,000. Improvement fund balance, $1,798,714.81. The July 2024 Delville TIF transfer of $9,411 and the IBB transfer of $18,554.34. As you can see, we currently still have 5 CDs in rolling order on the dates 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 at 300,000, and right now we're still above the 5%. I would entertain a motion to approve. So moved. Okay. I have a first and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Approved. Old business tampering fee, $500. We're talking about 2609 West County Road 450 North, Muncie.
Yeah, I sent an email out in the middle of the month. We had a customer that previously been capped off and was disconnected for probably I think it was right around 2 months. And we found the guys out in the field constantly are doing checks on those properties that are disconnected. They pulled up to that one, found out where it had been tampered with, reconnected the service themselves. I think this has happened probably not this actual customer, but over the course of time, it's probably happened 3 or 4 different times. And on those 3 or 4 different times, we've always started out the initial $500 tampering fee. The ordinance allows us to go up to $1,500. So I made that recommendation in the email that we start with that additional $500. I think that we had a majority say that was appropriate and that we would just ratify it in this meeting. To continue that, we did add that $500 that we need to vote on and get an actual vote on it. That they have since came up and paid the $500 tampering fee plus the amount that was past due, and we actually got them reconnected yesterday. So we just need to ratify that $500 tampering fee. I make a motion we ratify the $500 tampering fee.
Okay. I have a first and second discussion. So this is, we have a 500 tampering fee, and then if we go out, if they reconnect, then we up it again to 500.
Well, we've never actually had someone do it twice. I think the ordinance just allows us to go up to $1,500.
You chose 500 to go up to
$500 the first time, and that's what we've done in the past. So that's why I made that recommendation to do 500 this first time as well.
So where is the customer now? If you see, if I understood you right, they paid the $500 and the balance due. What about the additional $500 tampering fee that you assessed?
They owed us $399. That was the original lien amount that we had certified it to the taxes. That's been paid down the treasurer's office. That $500 we accepted payment for it yesterday in the office. The tampering fee.
The tampering fee.
Yes. So we're all clear and they're reconnected. Yeah.
And we've never had this issue before where someone has hooked it back up.
We have. It's happened about 3 different times, and I think in the past it's never been more than $500. We've always stayed consistent with that $500 for the first time.
I'm just asking, just knowledge. What's it cost us to dig that up and put that shut off down in there and be ready to turn it back on or turn it off?
The method that we use. It's a pretty simple method. That's why it's kind of
easy to do. Unlock.
And so what we've done in the past is we'll actually glue a cap down on it, and we put those. They're kind of similar to the metal shipping container tags that you can tell if the seal's broken.
Broken or not?
We put those on there, and they're, you know, you can visually just go by and see if they've been pulled off or, but for us, it's just a matter of putting another plug down there and disconnecting the service again, so it's, I mean, literally go there for a minute to reconnect,
Understood. No, and that's the more efficient way. I just, you said, and then I think an email I picked up, it'd been multiple. It's like not the first time, it'd been a couple before. I'm like,
Yeah,
dig that thing up and take 10 feet out, and I guarantee you they can't
Yeah.
lift the damn thing up. Or the darn thing up, excuse me.
yeah,
But, I mean, because it is. I mean, that's just going to cheating the system, and
Yeah.
we shouldn't have to deal with that.
yeah.
Okay, never mind.
No, we did, so we got to the, 60 days delinquent, 10 days notice, disconnection. Then after, in our ordinance, we wait, 30 days after we do the original disconnection to see if we're gonna receive payment within the office. And it got to that point, so, another month down the road, we disconnected it. And after it's been disconnected, then we actually lien it and certify it to the taxes. That was for after fees and everything, because they'll end up going sometimes another month or two of service once takes us time to get out there, disconnect it, and so they'll be billed for a couple more bills plus the fees from the treasurer's office and everything too. So that amount then was just short of $400.
So it's been lifted, right?
Yes, it's all been pulled. Yep.
And we took care of that. We ratified. We did. We voted, right?
Give me a second, can you get the news and
No, for a second, we just got, okay, sorry. Just need to vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Same sign? Motion carried. All right, you're still, Jason, is that still you, the Kamaki?
Yes. So, I don't know why. I have it with me here, I thought I did. Rob, do you wanna talk about the Kamak Sewer Rehab, contract? I thought I had a copy of it here with me, but I don't. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So, we had spoke last board meeting about the need for possibly looking at doing some I&I and inlining work over in the Kamak area where south of Jackson Street in between kind of Kamak Station and the railroad tracks. They got some older clay tile pipe, most of it being 8 and 10 inch, 10 inch when we get closer towards the Westbrook area, and it's one of our main interceptors. Again, one of the things the guys out in the field will always do is whenever we get a substantial amount of rain, when we have the ability to, we go and pop manholes. And you can normally, if you go in between two manholes, you can hear I&I if you hear additional flow, or even a couple days afterwards when you caught that up in your system. If you're still hearing that groundwater into the system, this is one of the areas that we kind of marked that needs addressed. Rob, we kind of brought an initial number, what it was gonna take to do the project, and not knowing what bids we're gonna come look at, we kind of made the recommendation that we would have Rob prepare a contract to just get us through the bidding process, design, and, see what it looks like when the actual bid numbers come in. I think the estimate's attached to that. And the two lump sums for design, it's gonna be $53,400, and for bidding, to get us through the bid process, it's gonna be $5,000. Total of $58,400, and that will get us through just to the point where we would be able to see what the bids come in at to do all that. That project initially, from the estimates Rob and Commonwealth put together, $692,500. So we just had him to prepare that contract to get us through that bidding phase to see if those numbers come in line with that, if it becomes a viable project at that point, and see where we stand. Then Rob went ahead and took it a step further. I know we had some questions on just that initial contract. It kind of laid out the lump sum and what that actually consisted of. And Rob went ahead and laid out where those man hours are going and kind of give a better detail on a spreadsheet, so that as well went up with the board packet. So if you guys wanna, start that and try to see what the bid would come in at, we got that in front of you. My recommendation would be definitely, move forward and to see if this is gonna be a viable project and what numbers come in at.
That gets that area pretty tight by then, because when we did that last big project, at the 600 lift station, remember there was like a Division A associated with that, where we had lined a bunch of the sewers up in Westbrook
Yeah,
at
if you're
that
looking
point
at
too.
the Camac area before, some of the new additions that were off of 500, you got the old part of Camac that's west of the railroad tracks, and then you got some of, like the Buckeye and everything that's be southeast of the railroad tracks. We addressed most of the old southeast area that would be still on clay tile during the Westbrook project, and the majority of the other stuff that's flowing in Camac are newer plastic lines, newer subdivisions that we're not seeing that type of I&I out of. So my recommendation would be, at least try to get this to bid and see if it is a viable project. One of the things we also spoke about is, we budgeted $250,000 for capital improvements, lift station work, and there's still a substantial amount of that money in there. So there's going to be funds there, and cheapest time to do it yesterday.
So your recommendation is that we need to move forward on this, get it, see what we can get to come in. And as you're saying, as far as paying for it, using what's left out of the capital expenditure plus going to the improvement fund,
Yeah, I mean,
this all in-house with our own money?
yeah, I mean, unless the bids would come in, my idea is that we're gonna budget the same amount next year, and, I mean, you're short of $400,000 that we're setting aside for capital improvements between the last 2 years, and some of the bigger projects that we've set aside that kind of fall out of the contractual services and set the different line item budgets that are bigger projects. This is one that definitely needs to be addressed.
What was that? Yeah, let's go a motion and then we'll go discussion. Yeah, do I have a motion?
Make a motion and we move forward with the Camac sewer that we have.
Okay, I got first and a second. Any discussion? Any questions for Jason? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion approved.
We have an SLB pay app. This is for the Overlook Drive project. It takes us to, it's for the amount of $17,812. Oh, okay. So in the board packet, we had 2 items to address with SLB. We had a change order for a, deductive change order for materials used on site. That was for $12,870. Less than, so we're reducing the contract price by $12,870. We need to get that approved, then we can address the actual pay app itself.
I was wondering, I didn't think that would take long to get a reduction. There's one, where's the second one?
I'll second.
There's the first and the second. Any discussion or questions for Jason? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Approved.
That was a unit price contract, which is why we came in under on quantities.
On material.
Mhm.
Okay, okay. You found it 12, but we spent 58.
Then we have an SLB pay app for $17,812.50. The only thing remaining after this would be completed, we're at, these customers are live now, construction's done. Majority of the site restoration is complete, the punch list is complete. We have 2 little areas, 2 homeowners that we're still working with to get them to sign off on repairs that were done, damage on the properties. So then Rob's still holding back some retainage money for those items, and also a set of as-bills that we're, getting from him. Commonwealth has provided us, a set of as-bills they did during the, inspection of the project, so, that we will still be holding back some retainage, so we've definitely met the requirements for this pay app, and my recommendation would be to approve the $17,812.50 for SLB.
Make a motion to approve the 17,812.50.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
The amount you're withholding actually exceeds what you just authorized. So we're still holding back over $20,000. We're still holding back over $20,000.
Then we have another pay app for, Brackney on the Brewerton construction project. All this pretty much amounts to is their bonding, insurance, and materials on hand. So we've had a couple conversations with Commonwealth and Brackney themselves. I think the biggest part of the dig that's gonna be taking place in the Brewerton area, Commonwealth has asked, and along with after speaking with the landowners, we're gonna wait till crops get in, or pulled in before we do our major dig there. But the amount of $277,712.55 is, basically for, bonding and materials on hand, right?
Yeah, it's predominantly stored materials, and they provided invoices and photos to document that it is truly in their possession. It's just being stored off-site. And then they're allowed by contract to invoice up to 95% of their mobilization on their first pay app. And that, like Jason said, covers their cost to get their bonds and insurance and everything like that. So we checked it. We're fine with it.
You're good, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Make a motion to approve the 277,712.55.
Second. First and second, any question, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion approved. Reports, Jason, you're top dog.
Okay, I think, last board meeting, the board approved, some additional, lift station and manhole rehab to be done by, Structure Solutions. They've been in, completed that, turned out fantastic. They're actually, was able to bypass ourselves, so that we saw that reduction of the $6,500 that they had estimated that they were gonna have to do it, that we were able to keep up ourselves. They're actually, I think they're the ones that are gonna be subbed out to be doing the manhole and, the lift station rehab on our number 1 and, 2 lift stations in Rorton, so it'd be a familiar contractor that we've used in the past, so that'd be nice. Let's see what else. Overlook Drive's live, going well, did our final punch list there. 2 new pumps installed in the Rorton area. With that work that was done by, Structure Solutions, they also, you guys might have saw in the bid, some of those, we did epoxy lining.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I got. We had a really good month in collections. We had 1 person reconnected, 0 disconnected, and I believe it was at $192 of $192.99 of delinquent accounts when I sent out the report this month. And we are the property at the end of Meadowcrest, where we've been having some issues accessing the property. I spoke with that homeowner, the property owner, to see where they stood. They had originally told Danielle that they were going to, get a survey done, and we were gonna work up that survey to make sure we're all on the same page. After the board meeting, I reached out to him and said, you know, have you been given any update of where we stood with, Ashton getting out there and performing that survey? And he proceeds to tell me that he's not ordering a survey anymore, and that he didn't tell our attorney that. So I just went ahead and ordered the survey to put this thing to rest. I'm gonna get the survey, have Ashton stick it all off, go off there, and if we end up having to cut a new drive, so be it. I just want time to put this to rest.
Agree.
Luckily, Ashton knew exactly what Jason was calling about since the homeowner had already contacted them about a survey. Just to clarify.
So, yeah, Kathy said she would do her best to get us in as quick as possible, but they are extremely backed up right now.
Yeah, I mean, normal, they're looking at 3 months at
Yeah.
least. You get it. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's all I got right now. Thank you.
Only question I have, Jason, what the rain over the last, what we've had the last many issues. Guys in the field, I know we had a couple they were just downpours. They were quick ones,
Yes.
loaded and gone.
You would have saw in the report too that we had in the month of July 2.97 inches of rain. Everything's doing great. I was on site again after last month. They had asked about MSD was in here, and Mr. Brand told me that he would secure us that video from the
350.
on 350 of what they'd already televised.
Mhm.
I think that there was a misunderstanding from what he thought they had done and what they had actually done. I think he thought when we'd originally been out there and a while back in like 2017 that they had put a camera down it. And I think he meant that they were TVing currently and that they had footage of it then. That wasn't the case. Since then, they spent 2 back-to-back days out on 350 cleaning and cameraing. If the gist of 2 days of doing that is they got 2 sections of pipe done. So
Due to flow or due to what's in the,
Mobile home park there,
no,
down just a little bit further.
no, if you did General Trucks off of 67.
Oh,
turn
out that
towards
direction,
DeSoto,
okay, yeah,
yes.
okay, I'm with it now, cause I wasn't catching what you were
So we went out there, Scott and myself, the day they were actually cameraing and, was able to see what kind of shape that pipe was in, the interceptor, and I'm still fairly confident that they have a huge issue on their hand. In the pictures that were taken, even in those 2 sections of pipe, every gasket's still hanging down, in those, concrete pipes, and so every section butting those pipes is not secure or holding, not watertight. Then every section you can still see the metal inside of it.
rebar.
The rebar, yes. So
So
there's a
guys,
lot of
you can
deterioration
see
and,
quite a bit of
I
rebar.
mean, it's tenfold worse shape than what we dealt with, in my opinion, at 600.
So the pictures that we thought we were seeing was 2017 and what you just seen is,
Well, I was there in 2017 when they ran the camera, but I think what they thought they were seeing was additional work that was being completed real time now, and that wasn't the case. I haven't received any other video than what I saw on site here recently when I was out there.
all right, any questions for Jason? Okay, seeing none. Danielle, it is now your turn.
Okay, we got the easements recorded for the Royerton Sewer Rehab Project for the Ashley Wheeler properties. But like Jason just touched on, they had talked about wanting recovery of any damaged crops, which is why now, due to timing of all the parties that come into play for that, some couldn't even be here within a month or two, while some could be ready, and so that's why the decision was made. It's just better to wait on the crops coming out, and we don't have to worry about paying claims for any lost crops. But those easements have been recorded. Ashley was able to get those back, fairly quickly from Fort Wayne for us, so that was good. We have not heard anything from Wasson Nursery after we sent the letter, but I do get contacted, fairly consistently from Alan Ritchie on the Wasson Nursery issue. He has not been contacted as of the last time he reached out, which was within the last week, I would say. He still hasn't heard anything from them either. I'm assuming maybe they're reaching out to contractor and, people that did the work for them and maybe seeing what they need to do, hopefully. But until that time, that just is going to just lie dormant from our perspective, and will be on them to take care of those lines. The only other, on the Overlook Drive, one thing I was gonna ask, this may be a Rob question. We were notified, one of the homeowners that we talked quite a bit about, the ornate, flowers and, the star flowers or whatever we talked about last month, the shooting stars, that they wanted replaced. The quote was being done to rehab that. It's my understanding now the homeowner and his daughter are saying they don't want that repaired because more damage was done than not. So I don't know, is there anything I need to be doing in that regard? Are we letting SLB deal with that?
This is kind of what Jason was touching on earlier. Contractor offered to provide the seeds to whatever these plants are, and it's got to the point where the property owner's like, look, you tried, it's not working, we're done, don't come back in here, we'll just take care of it ourselves. My instruction to the contractor was, that's fine, but get them to sign a release so they don't come back after the fact.
Exactly.
So we're waiting on 2 releases, one from them, and I forget the other property owner.
Kenny?
I saw that release document was sent today. So as soon as we get those back, you guys will obviously get copies of them, but, we're not gonna release any other monies and call them done until we get these 2 property owners to sign off that they're okay with what they got and they'll deal with it themselves moving forward. So that's where that stands.
Right. Then the last thing, as we were talking about today with Overlook, and not specifically to Overlook, but any projects where you guys have grinder pumps going in and there's a warranty period, and then after that period, the homeowner's responsible for things moving forward, the electricity. We don't really have an ordinance in place that identifies all those particulars for projects like that. Now, when we went to Delville, all of the homeowners, I believe, were in attendance when we had the initial meeting and explained, what they would be responsible for, when that took effect, what we would do and for how long. So they were all made aware before this project ever started. So I realized that we do that, but then Bill brought up today, should we have an ordinance or something in place that we have something in writing saying, we're responsible for this when this type of project is done, homeowner's responsible for this. And even one step further, an acknowledgement of responsibility or something that before this project starts that they're signing off on before we start this too. So somebody doesn't come back and say, well, I thought I wasn't gonna have to pay when this pump goes out, or whatever.
I guess it came in the back of my mind, remember when we were talking about the one down south out of Oakville? We've been all grinder pumps, force main, I mean, you were looking at 150, 160. I think there's a point where we have a liability in the line, and then the pump, just as if they had a septic, or you had, the homeowner has some responsibility. And I think we need to draw a distinct line where that responsibility is and when it takes place for both sides, where we're responsible up to, at what point, and then from what point from there, they're responsible after that. We're gonna do more of these, it's gonna come up in the future. It just seems like this would be a good time to come together to have Danielle draft us some language or come up with something that we agree to, that this is where it was. I know on one of them, the warranty, just throwing that the warranty was good for a year or two. We've got it, but after the warranty, up to that point, we'll take care of it, help serve, but after that point, it's their responsibility to contact and go. And they're always responsible for the electric from the moment it's turned on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna stay in effect for a full year after we're done, in case they gotta come back in. Goes away.
Right.
Try to tie it.
Something to that nature. I just think for us to be a safeguard, I don't think we want to open ourselves up, and I don't think we have the revenue to replace $3,000 to $5,000 grinder pumps on 400 homes throughout a 2-year period before we'll be in some severe trouble.
You need that in the form of a motion?
I don't think we need,
We're doing this after the fact. Now and
going forward.
moving forward,
Moving forward, this is already in effect, our agreement's already made with the overlook, correct? Within the easements, and it goes back to them in reverse. And we said that, and we got them to sign off before we started overlook, that this is what it would be put in free of charge, the whole 9 yards, but after the deal, then they would take over responsibility, and they signed off anyone that did the program. But I think we need to have an ordinance in place if we do something going on, so that if it's not, I mean, remember, this was ARPA dollars, and we spent it and put the whole cost in there. If we go the other way, just wanna make sure we got something covering us coming back, that we know where that line is, that we're responsible to, and then when it's their responsibility after.
Procedurally, it's no different than how you handle it.
Yeah.
I don't-
Generally, we always go, after that warranty runs out, like we kind of spoke about, it's that we always go curb stop. The curb stop towards the main is gonna be us, because they always put it within that easement.
Right.
And then everything, towards the house from the curb stop and the pump and controls is always gonna be homeowner's responsibility.
I don't think we need a motion. I think what I'd like to see, you tell me, probably Danielle and Jason to work together, and you to bring something to us at the next meeting, and then we can go through it, and you guys, we can tweak it, and then I can accept a motion there, and we can see if we can ratify them.
So what are the chances that we get different from this one, and then we have to do another ordinance or a revision to it? I mean,
I think what,
Keep on having something else, agreement you've been
You-
having.
Ray, you've been here long, the ARP dollars and doing what we did, I think that is the only time that we stepped outside of that deal and did it that way. If not, I think we would be covered. That was just a rare, unique situation. I don't think we're gonna cross that threshold again for,
Yeah, most situations are not the same.
No.
either. Well, and so the ordinance can be generalized enough to where we don't say it's covered for 1 year and this, cause the warranty period may be different, so we can say it's covered for the warranty period, and then after I can make that generalized
yeah,
enough.
because,
And then
Yeah.
the acknowledgement, or however I end up wording that document, just to have them sign off when they sign the easement, that can be something where we just have, if there's, where I change the name, if we have to change one part there,
I think
name and
one of-
address changes with that or something, that's.
One of the things I talked to the guy that sells over at E1, that's generally who these pumps are coming from, and he said he's seen situations where the sewer district will carry the burden of those repairs and everything for the life of the bond. And 99% of the time, what we see out in the field when we're doing repair, it's because of misuse. It's
Okay.
wipes.
that's what kind of generated this. I ran into a situation last night of misuse on a vacation home, and it's $5,000 a pump, and they're putting one in every other year on this property.
Oh.
Because the guy's not there, because it's misuse, it's drying out, bearings drying out, then they go to use it, it breaks down, and it's their responsibility to replace it. It's like, whoa, time out, you're sending a nightmare through me right now. If we were doing that to all of our customers, we'd go broke.
Yeah.
Because we can't be responsible for the misuse on that end, what goes down, what they're trying to grind up. I think we have a right in the pump that we choose in there, if we get get the right pump, and as I've learned, from $3,000 to $5,000, you can vary, but if they don't use it the right way, I don't think we should be liable. Okay.
I'll
You
work
two
on
work
that.
together on that and bring us back something for the next meeting, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for Jason? Anybody?
Well, that was me, but okay.
Or, sorry, Daniel, I apologize.
I don't think so. I'll just put something together and then you guys can actually make a motion on both of those documents next month. That's all I had then.
I'm waiting on Brenda down there. She's in, I didn't know she's, I'll let her finish up. All right, I just letting you finish up.
Well, I was just,
You don't have to, I just,
that I was gonna look at some of the homeowners warranties that we have, from different companies in our office, to see if there might be something there that would assist them.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, please, please.
that'd be great.
Miss Ashley, your turn, dear.
Hello, everyone. So July was a pretty standard month. We did our social media post. Jason sent over a few updates that we got on social media and on the website. I'm actually glad to hear Jason say that the collections are doing well, because if you looked at your analytics, the billing page is usually, always very high, and it was down 14% from the last month. So I'm glad to hear that your collections were doing well, since that was down a little bit. We posted the July board meeting that had 17 views. And if you look at your analytics, the web page, the home page was up 4% from last month, and the bill payment page was down 14%. Your contact page had 26 views. Not sure if there's any questions, if you looked at the analytics, or about anything being posted, or any updates for this month that you would like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm pleased. Thank you. Jenny, I see you're here, Health Department. Do you have anything for us there? Okay. Rob? Anything other than what we've done?
No, I don't have anything else other than what we've already talked about.
Okay. All right. Board, I've reached the end of the agenda. Does any board member have anything? Oh, you're right. I jumped. Sorry. Committee reports.
I was gonna give an update. We've been at the budget committee, there's been communication with Jason, about budget, and then we're getting ready to meet, and I think it's September, at least we won't September, and so we're all in agreement that
Go
will
into-
let us know about the health insurance and anything else.
Have you brought the board members up to speed on the health insurance and what you shared with me?
Yeah,
Give them
so
an update on that, please.
I, reached out with Bill and the committee members here. We've seen an initial renewal for, we brought the vision and dental already to you. And we got the employee health insurance coverage, renewal back. The first renewal that came in, that'd be like keeping the same plan. We saw a percentage, initial increase of 27% after talking with North Point, and they came back and told us when they gave us that renewal that they were going to first ask for a rate reduction, and then they would also continue to shop other options for us. We, after seeing that and being a little flabbergasted, we went ahead and reached out to some local outfits that we've dealt with in the past. Thompson Group being one of them. They did the health insurance for the district for years and years before we switched over to North Point. We reached out to Robinson Insurance, and we reached out to Shelter, and we actually, Penny today and myself, we sat down with Thompson Group. They came in and they gave us some initial options, kind of explained to us, because they're going to shop the exact, I don't want to say the exact same way. That they haven't went as far as asking for a reduction because they're not our current carrier, but they're going to shop the exact same way and tell us what their options are. But from our conversations today, I got they were going to send me out a PDF, the electronic versions, if I could get out to the committee members, and but we have a couple different options. And he also stated that even with the going in and asking for a reduction, that he said that he felt like it would be pretty generous for us to see maybe a 20% increase, because based on all of our health history, every year the group's age is getting older as well. So he said even if best case scenario he saw, we might see a 20% increase. So then we got to looking at United, which wasn't going to be an option, and it was going to be from the Thompson Group. That initial number was far higher, and that was going to be a 35.2% increase. And I'm sorry, United was going to be a 57.48% increase. So the next option we look at is IU health plans. There is a IU health plans. There's options where we can break it down in like two kind of separate categories. One, we're completely tied to any IU provider. Then they offer what they call a tier 1 and a tier 2. And tier 1 is basically saying the same thing. We're going to offer only IU providers, and tier 2 is their way of saying that you have some out of network options as well. So they give us a lot better numbers there. So if we wanted to look at offering that to the employees and maybe making that a possibility, the tier 2 with having both in-network and out-of-network options, you would still see about 11.5% increase. But with some of that, we saw, even with the IU health plans, we saw in-network deductibles was going to go up a little bit of money. The emergency room visits, your preferred care providers, your urgent care, prescription drug costs were going to actually be a lot lower. So there's some give and take that we need to present to the committee members. But once I have an electronic version of this, we can take a look at it. I know the plan is to have a budget prepared and approved by October, like Joe said, and meet with them in September.
Yeah, it'll be November now.
This renewal is due in October. So
We gotta do it next meeting.
option, no issues of getting us their numbers as well. And I'm waiting for the other two companies to actually, reach back out to us. And, Thompson Group's been diligent in getting them to the office today, and they made the quotes and spoke with us day one, then got the quotes to us a week later. So I think we're gonna have a lot more numbers coming in here within the next week or so. That it's most likely gonna look like we're gonna have to approve a healthcare plan prior to actually approving that budget. So that being the biggest part, and the treatment costs is what we're generally waiting on. And I already got the fillers out to the 3 different treatment facilities to start verifying our rates for the coming year, and we'll go from there.
But that one's for,
Yes.
you, as a, commission find out, it's gonna be on the forms that they're going to give you if you're switching insurance carriers. If the IU plan is even doctors that our employees already are using, would that be when they're forced with this?
So
Like they're not
Yeah.
in healthcare, right?
we've kind of had that conversation prior to lunch today. We had, unfortunately, one of our employees does live out of the county, and so they're not necessarily always an IU facility away. But from the majority of us, the other few employees, it looks like it'd be a viable option. So.
To be restricted to IU only
Well,
service?
so that was kind of the nice thing with tier 2, having those 2 separate tiers. Tier 1 would, if you kind of look at this, and I'll get you guys the. Yeah. So there is a IU won't offer a.
I do pull doctors and have them check it, make sure they can see it.
Yeah, he gave us he pulled a whole book of us for any Delaware County physician that's in the network. But there's also, IU they won't come out and they'll offer you a out-of-network service, but they won't say out-of-network because it's just their way of saying, we got a tier 1 and a tier 2. You're gonna pay a little bit more for the tier 2, and we're gonna offer you out-of-network coverage. And instead of being a $1,250 in-network deductible, it's gonna start out at $2,500 deductible if you start out in network. But they're still gonna offer you that coverage. Now, my question to him, he's gonna come back with us some more information, is how many doctors are actually out of network that's gonna accept that coverage.
Right.
So, we got a little bit of digging to do, but it's gonna be a pretty substantial increase if we continue to look at Anthem as a preferred provider and not do something to keep that cost down for a little bit, for, 5 different families and stuff.
We'll get to that. So they can ask the questions as pertinent to their, if it comes down to change something, that pay a little bit because it's that important to them, or
Yeah,
I think health insurance is so very, very important that you need your providers that you wanna go to too.
yeah, I think it's not a question, it's what if we're gonna change, it's what we're willing to bend on. At this point, it's just, it kind of blew my mind. I mean, we saw 7% last year, and that was kind of easy to take on, because we hadn't seen an increase for 2 years. And now this year, so he said, and Alan pointed out to us today from the top speaker, they legally can only give you it's like a max increase of 15%, other than outside, 14099, other than the normal liars like age and everything else. But other than that, they're going to break us down and kind of categorize by us our unhealthiest employee, and that's where we're at. And so it becomes a point where the small entity's hurting us, but it's
Wasn't that why we went to the chamber and all, because then we were grouped in as a big group, and
So-
so it wasn't so dependent on the age or your health history as
So-
employees?
yeah. So then they explained to us that, and what I said, well, why is that taking place here? And he stop me if I'm wrong here. He said what they'll do is they'll take your he said like your top 5 most expensive groups that are similar to you, then they're going to average that out, and that's what's giving us that 20%. And they're going to put you in a group that is similar to the number of employees you have with the number of claims you have, and they're going to find an average there, because they don't want to shoot just our group up 32% because of that. They're going to try to keep it down as low as they can, but they're still going to group you based on what similarities you have with a group your size.
I think we had 2 big hits last year. That's not having a hard time. And so, I mean, to me, I don't know the adjustments. It's almost like car insurance. Once you know what I mean, it takes a while to work it back down after you've had the claims that we've had in the last year due to the 2 things.
Yeah, and he said that could very well be the case too, where we get put in that group that doesn't see a hit for the next 2 years after this. It's just.
That will get a nice reduction. Okay. That it?
Yep.
Anybody have anything else? I have 2 things that I'd like to bring to the table. First off, Ray, I may need you next month. I am in a defense summit up in Fort Wayne, and I don't know if I'll make it back in time for the meeting. I will try. It ends at 1, but it's in Fort Wayne, and who knows when I'll get out of there. Second of all, I'm going to tell on myself here. Davey got a phone call from a disgruntled customer last month. I got to go there because I'm just going to tell on myself, and the reason why. Jason made me aware of the phone call. This person went through Davey, and it was explained, and it's our policies. It was things up, late fees, and not paying the bill. She then proceeded to want to go to Jason, and I think she went to Penny and talked to you, if I remember right. And then she started throwing my name around, and then he gave me a call, and she did call me. I'm telling you, I did not pick up that phone. My opinion is we are board members. We set policy and we set the organization. We have a superintendent, we have an office staff. I am not going to get between somebody that's upset about a bill. If they're that upset and they need a change, then they need to come in and address all of us at the exact same time, instead of putting one of us in between our workforce and them. I don't want to be put in that situation. So I'm just stating it straight up front, and it's on the I did not return that phone call, and I will not return that phone call. And it doesn't matter how that phone call went down with the office, but it was made there, the rules were stated, and if they want something changed or needs a hardship, then this is where they need to bring that, is to in here. Okay. I just want to make sure that you guys are on the same page. If you, I mean, different, I guess if you get a phone call how you want it, but that's me. I did not do it. I did not return it. And they had every opportunity to deal with our complete staff, which I seen they had more than opportunity to take care of the situation. No, exactly. And remember, I mean, and with that said, I mean, yeah, because we're on, as board members, we're on there. You also got a sheet of paper here with your packet. Please keep those to yourself. These are all personal. These are addresses. These don't need to go out. These are shared with just us. So please keep them with just us.
Okay.
So it doesn't float around anywhere. I mean, we all have our private lives, and I mean, we're servants, and I appreciate everybody that stepped up, but we do have a right to our privacy as well.
A lot of people have been asking about, when terms were up and what we need to do or that, so I just thought if I.
As I did with, I want to know what it is like. Well, I'm always wondering like I do with you, go in there, Ron, I make phone calls over to Chesterfield. I keep track of where everybody is as far as in the deal so that we make, whatever connection we need to make before the end of the year. Okay? Anybody else have anything else today? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. I have a first and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.